Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new board game that's only just come out, I believe, called Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is a tile placement game for 2 players where you build the exotic islands of Lakshadweep tile by tile, building houses, fisheries, hotels, ports, while sustaining the beautiful forests and corals. If you've played Carcassonne, the classic tile placement game, then you will be on familiar ground here and will pick up the game in no time. Lakshadweep is designed by Siddhant Chand with artwork by Masha Kothari, apologies for the pronunciation, and the game is published by Luma World. I must admit I had not heard of Luma World, but taking a look at their BGG page, I can see that they class themselves as an edutainment company that focuses on games-based skill development for young learners, aiming to get them from their computer screens and playing fun board games whilst learning at the same time. Lakshadweep, however, is a game for 2 players rated ages 10 plus and takes around 30 minutes to play. And having just played it, I can safely say that it will appeal to people of all ages, as it's very easy to learn and great fun to play. Though, with 7 aspects to calculate the game end scoring, this would not be really appropriate to younger players. Okay, let's take a Fun with Boxes look at what you get with the game. Like I said earlier, the game is very easy to learn, especially for anyone who has played Carcassonne. But there is a game-changing mechanism to this game that sets it apart from other tile placement games. And that is the tiles are double-sided, with each side offering something not only to the person placing it, but also to the person they are playing against. And this is the joy in the game, I found. You may be looking to build a house on the island, but at the same time, you may be building a port for your opponent. This really stops you in your tracks and makes you think. Quite a great twist to a tile placement game. Okay, let's take a quick walkthrough of how to set up and play the game. Firstly, the objective. Players build the islands of Lakshadweep tile by tile, building various things like houses and fisheries, forests and corals in their own player colour. Once all 28 tiles have been placed, the player with the highest scores wins. Setup. Take all 28 island tiles and randomly flip some over while shuffling them and place them in a stack in your play area. This will be the main deck. Draw 2 tiles from the top and place them to the side of the stack. These 2 cards and the top card of the main deck form the marketplace, and you will be drawing tiles from the marketplace when you are playing the game. Take the 16 fishing tokens and place them face down on the table, and then shuffle them, keeping them all face down, and then keep those near the marketplace. Take the 6 island completion tokens and arrange them in descending order and keep these near the marketplace with the highest number on top. Choose a player colour from between purple and orange and take the matching reference card. Randomly determine who is going to start first and you are ready to play. How to play. The player turn order is quick and very straightforward. You pick a tile, immediately place that tile, and that's the end of your turn, and your opponent then takes their turn. Repeat this until all 28 tiles have been placed and then score the game. So let's break this down. Pick a tile. Okay, you have 2 options. Either pick the tile from the top of the main deck or pick one of the 2 tiles next to the main deck. You may freely rotate the tile you pick before placing it. However, if you picked one of the 2 tiles next to the main deck, you may flip the tile over before placing it. Remember, each tile is double-sided, so whilst you may be adding your own coloured structures, like houses, to the islands, you are also giving something away in the other colour to your opponent, so you need to choose wisely. So if you drew the tile from the top of the main deck, you can rotate it before placing it, but you cannot flip the tile over. Placing tiles. There are some placement rules that you need to be mindful of when placing your tile. Firstly, the tile must share at least one edge with another tile that is already on the map. Obviously, the first tile to be laid is simply placed into the playing area, and then all tiles placed after this must share at least one edge with that tile that is already on the map. Secondly, the terrains must match. For example, land to land, water to water. Finally, the edges of the tiles must match without any overlaps. It is worth noting that you do not necessarily need to complete islands. All islands will score at the end of the game, whether they are complete or partially complete. And there are two further things that you need to be mindful of regarding any tiles that have hotels or fisheries on them. The first is that every island can only have one hotel, so watch out for this when placing hotels. The second is concerning fisheries. When you place a tile with a fishery, you immediately add fish tokens to it. Before adding the tokens, check to see how many fisheries are already present on the tiles surrounding it. If there are no other fisheries, you place 2 tokens. Otherwise, you place only 1 token. Its value will be revealed at the end of the game. Completed islands. If a player places a tile that completes an island, that is all land surrounded by sea, they immediately take the face-up top token from the island completion stack. Its value will count towards the final score at the end of the game. And now on to scoring. But first, importantly, all features score even if the island they are on is incomplete. You do not need to complete islands to be able to score them. Grab the handy scoring pad, as this will help make scoring a lot easier. Houses. The player with the most houses on an island scores points based on the number of their houses on that island. If there is a tie, then both players score. Hotel. Remember, each island can only have 1 hotel. For each island with your coloured hotel, count the number of people on that island. This is your score for the island. Fisheries. Turn over any fishery tokens you may have collected and add them together. This is your score for your fisheries. Ports. For each of your coloured ports on an island, you score for each of your unique coloured features on that island, including your port. So your points will be based on the number of unique hotel, house, fishery, port and forest features on that island. Forests. Simply count all the forests of your colour across all islands and multiply this by 3. Corals. Count all your corals that you can see surrounding the islands you have built. If you have the most, you score 10 points and your opponent scores nothing. If you tie, you both score 10 points. And finally, island completion. Add up all the points for any island completion tokens you may have collected. Add all these points together to get your score, and the highest score wins the game. If there's a tie, the player with the highest number of corals wins. There is an advanced game variant included that you can try once you are familiar with the game. To play this version, use the 8 bonus tokens instead of the island placement tokens when you set the game up. The bonus tokens are triggered when a player places a tile that completes an island, or they place a tile that adds their 2nd, 4th, 6th or 8th forest to the islands. I first heard of this game on one of the Dice Tower episodes and was intrigued by the double-sided tiles and the fact that you're always giving something away to your opponent. The only place I've been able to find a copy of this game here in the UK is from Amazon. So I've placed an Amazon affiliated link into the description below if you are interested in picking up a copy of this great little game. Using the link costs you nothing, but I may get a small commission from Amazon that will help me to grow the channel. Okay, so what do I think of this game? Well, let's start by looking at the theme. Well, there is no missing the theme here. Luma World want to inform and inspire a new generation of responsible citizens, hoping to help them to take a step closer to embracing a greener lifestyle, and they are certainly doing this with this game. Right when you get the game and notice the lack of shrink wrap plastic, you know the company here is taking steps to reduce the impact on the environment. There's a lovely leaflet on why they chose this theme, and why they chose Lakshadweep, and a ton of information all about the islands of Lakshadweep. All really interesting and informative. 8 out of 10. On to the production of the game. There are not many components to the game and everything comes pre-punched. The tiles themselves are large and quite thick and brightly illustrated. The tokens are of good quality, nothing to get excited about, but all perfectly fine. The production here is a little above average due to the thickness of the island tiles, so this one is a 6 out of 10. Ease of play. The rulebook does a great job of explaining things in detail. It is clear in its instruction and has plenty of illustrations too. 8 out of 10. Replayability. This is a small box tile placement game. However, the clever use of the double-sided tiles that always offer something to your opponent as well as to you keep the game fresh for quite a few plays, especially with the added randomness of how the tiles will come out. As an extra bonus here, there is an advanced game variant included, which again adds to the replayability. And also a number of QR codes to scan that give you access to island goal cards to give you further additional gameplay, as well as interactive content and more. So a 7 out of 10 here. And now on to my overall score. This is an above average little game with that interesting twist of the double-sided tiles and the fact that every time you place to add to your score, you are always giving something away in turn to your opponent. I really love this aspect of the game. It's super quick to set up and quick and easy to play. Even though there are a number of elements to endgame scoring, once you play this for the first time, you'll have no trouble figuring out how to score on future games. I love the theme and love what Luma World are aiming to do and their views on sustainability and the environmental factors. A solid 7 out of 10 and as a result one that I would recommend, especially as it's quick to set up and really enjoyable to play. So there you have it, Lakshadweep, definitely worth taking a look at. Don't forget there is an affiliated link to get this from Amazon in the description below. Like I say, I can't seem to find this anywhere else other than Amazon here in the UK. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and please do click the subscribe button as this is a great way to help support the channel. Thanks very much for watching and please take care.